Hey everyone, welcome back to another sketching session. This time around I want to take you through my digital drawing process from the sketching phase all the way to, let's call it, finished phase. So let's get into it. Coming from industrial design, I was always surrounded by amazing designers who could sketch the shit, of course. And I was massively envious of their skills, so from time to time I try to practice a little bit of automotive sketching. Of course, due to my cartoony style, I tend to make my drawings more stylized, but hey, that's me. So, as you could see, I always tend to start with a rough underlay sketch. These are good for exploration purposes, from perspective to style, size, just make you feel comfortable with what you're going to draw. And these are rough sketches, no question about it, but that is the important part of it, because as soon as I start using thinner, more controlled lines, I lose that braveness and the looseness of my lines. So although this part doesn't look nice, it is very important. I like to use a thick brush for this to make sure that I'm not concerned by making minor mistakes, and more importantly, that I won't start doing detail. After I'm done with the rough sketch, I switch to a thinner brush and start the actual sketching. When I want to draw something for a more professional purpose, I will probably use these lines also as a sketch underlay. But in this case, I wanted to keep it loose and fun and stuck with this layer as my final lines. If you haven't noticed, I use Sketchbook for this drawing. I really like Sketchbook because it gives you a very close feeling to traditional drawing. And as a digital tool, it gives you that extra freedom of being able to experiment and mess up and easily fix your mistakes. I have to mention the line and the ellipse tools that you can see me use in this video. As industrial designers, we have to learn to draw straight, precise lines and proper ellipses. But I feel that knowledge does not translate that well to the digital platform. And that's where the line and the ellipse tools are really extremely helpful. You could see me use them to construct the grille and the wheels. Notice that I do not close the ellipses, and I also didn't make the lines too precise. This is important if you don't want your drawing to look too rigid and robotic. As for rendering, I have different workflows for different programs. In Sketchbook, I fill in all the flat colors on one layer, usually lock it, and then color either within that layer or on top of it. You can see me build each new shading element on top of each other. I will slowly start merging all of these layers into one layer as soon as I feel satisfied with them. I feel the best approach is to render from dark to light. So have a dark base color and you can slowly start adding all the highlights. When talking about car rendering, lighting is the main thing. Okay, technically lighting is the main thing for all sorts of renderings or colorings. But what makes a car rendering look cool are the highlights that capture one's attention. I also tend not to apply the darkest shade of my base color, and then later on I can create extra contrast by adding a darker value close to my highlights. Like here you can see the headlight pop more because of the dark grille. You can also see the same thing on the side of the car. I wanted to have that highlight pop a bit more, so I decided to darken the side of the car. But notice that I mostly apply the shading to the upper part, right underneath the highlight. This is because bounce light. In this case, the light bouncing off the floor will illuminate the lower part of the car a bit. These are really little details that can have a big effect on your drawing, and sadly I forget to apply them most of the time. And from here on, it's really just more touch-ups, adding some extra dark values here and some more highlights there. It's always a good idea to take half an hour off and come back to your drawing and then see where you can add more highlights to make the whole image pop again. In this case, I did not take off time, but I noticed that the greenhouse needs a little bit more love, so I made sure to darken up parts of it and put a nice reflection on the environment of it. And yeah, obviously that doesn't make sense, but hey, that's how we industrial designers cheat. After I was satisfied with the shading, I wanted to see how it would look with some colors on it, so I added a blue shade and saturated it. Since orange works very well with blues, I mean just take a look at almost any superhero poster from the last years, I created this little design element incorporating the E30 in it. I realized that I did not like the blue shade at all, and the image actually worked better with a simple gray tone, so I scrapped the blue colors. As a final touch, I copy-pasted some E3 rims from Google and incorporated them into the image. When you do this, make sure to apply some of the shadows to the rims to make them blend better with the rest of the image. And yes, this would be my digital drawing process for most of the things that I draw. I hope you found this video useful and would love to hear any suggestions you might have from future videos. As always, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and check out my Instagram for regular sketches. Thanks for joining and see you next time. Bye bye.